looking at your partnership agreement, thinking about what fiduciary obligations you have to your existing firm, thinking about what ethics obligations you have to your existing firm and to your clients, so that you can strategically plan when you want to execute a move. Because I've seen the transitions be so much more smooth when people have taken the time ahead of time to plan what they want to see going forward.
Welcome back to our Happy Rainmakers video series where point one can make a difference. I'm really pleased to be joined today by Hilary Gerzhoy, who is a partner at HWG Law and is an ethics expert. Thanks so much for joining us today, Hilary.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, you know that we have our 6 pillars to becoming a happy rainmaker, and we were talking about how to plan intentionally. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
One of the things that I do as part of my legal ethics and malpractice work is I work with a ton of laterals who are moving between law firms. And there's some trends that have emerged about what makes a more successful move. And I think planning intentionally is probably the biggest one. And what goes into that, there are a few components. There's planning intentionally in terms of what do you want your practice to look like? What's going to be a good fit for you culturally, emotionally, honestly? Monetarily, of course, is always a consideration for the long term. Like, where do you want to see yourself in 10 years is one piece of it. And then the other piece is thinking about the more administrative aspects of it earlier on, because there are landmines and traps for the unwary that you can absolutely avoid, but you have to know to look for them in the first instance. So planning intentionally means that from that perspective, looking at your partnership agreement, thinking about what fiduciary obligations you have to your existing firm, thinking about what ethics obligations you have to your existing firm and to your clients, so that you can strategically plan when you want to execute a move. Because I've seen the transitions be so much more smooth when people have taken the time ahead of time to plan what they want to see going forward.
So if anybody watching this right now is thinking, yeah, I've been meaning to look at some other opportunities. I've been unhappy for some time. It seems so overwhelming. And now you're telling me there's another layer to it. What's the first thing they can do? I guess maybe reach out and have a consultation with an expert like you who can guide them in this part of the process.
Yeah, so the first thing I always tell people is to take a look at your partnership agreement. But if you were, which can be overwhelming, but I do a ton of consultations with people, and sometimes the entire representation is just an hour, because I've seen this so many times. So I sort of go through the roadmap of what do you need to be thinking about, where are the potential problems that could emerge, how can we be strategic about avoiding those problems, and then thinking about the broader picture of what do you ultimately want to achieve. So thinking about among the options that you have if you're at that stage. And I think for people who are feeling overwhelmed, I'm a very systematic person and very organized, and having an action plan makes me feel a lot calmer. And so what I like to give people is, here's what we're going to do. Here's the action plan. Here are the things that I need from you, so I can tell you what my perspective is on how you should proceed. And then let's do it in pieces. We're not going to do it all at the same time. Let's start with what the do's and the don'ts. And then the thing about this process is that once you give notice to the firm, for example, there can be other things that happen, right? And so depending on how the firm reacts, depending on how your clients react, we have to pivot. We have to be creative about finding solutions to these problems. But this is an aspect where if you didn't practice in this niche world of legal ethics that I spend all my time in, you really would have no way of knowing how to navigate this process. Most lawyers don't move very often, right? They do one move, two moves in their entire career between firms. And so how would you know what specific requirements there are about giving notice or taking associates? There's no reason that would be at the forefront of your mind, but being strategic about it can really avoid so many issues. And I think the other piece of it that I see too is that for people who are thinking about a move, Sometimes the number that they are offered at the new firm, at the target firm, um, is only part of the story, because what your life is ultimately going to be like, the scope of your practice, the team that you're going to have, are you going to be set up for success if you can't take people with you who's there already, that's going to help and facilitate your practice? What's the client's perspective on that new firm? I've had people who have, for whatever reason, a client really dislikes a particular law firm and you have no reason to know that, right? Like, how is your work going to port, and how is that transition going to be? And the other piece too is, can your existing firm do anything differently that would make you happy? Like, is the source of the unhappiness something that's fixable or not fixable? And a lot of times it's not fixable, and sometimes it is. Or even just in having those conversations, you learn more about what you want and what's ultimately going to make you feel happy and satisfied in your career.
Thank you so much for the information.
Thanks for having me on.